Okay, so this is day 3, week 11. Again, this is day 3, week 11 of our journey together. And I am definitely excited that we are here together. And so we're gonna begin right with this paper 3 question. Here they ask us, yesterday we finished 2016 paper 2 for Bgcse. We finished that. We got to do 2015. We got to do 2015 paper 2 for Bgcse. We're still on the 2019. We're still on the 2019 paper 3, and we are on question C. And so it says, use your graph to solve the equation x squared minus 30x plus 100 equals 0. So let's consider that. All right. Okay, so for this one, they tell us to use our graph to solve the equation. But I'm going to use the quadratic formula, and hopefully the quadratic formula can give us insight as to how we can do it using the graph, because I'm not sure how to use the graph to do it, not at this point, but hopefully as we solve it using the quadratic formula, we can get some insight, and that can help us to see how the graph and the equation that they give us have some correlation. So if we're using a quadratic formula, we know, or I should say the quadratic formula goes as follows. It says that if we have ax squared plus bx, so if we have a quadratic equation in the following form, ax squared plus bx plus c, right, equals 0, then a would be the coefficient of x squared, b would be the coefficient of x, and c would be the constant, right? So, and if we have that, then the quadratic equation would be the following. The solution to our quadratic formula, our quadratic equation is negative b plus or minus the square root of... Yes, ma'am?
That above is the formula for it.
This, y'all? This?
Yes, so
We call this the general form of a quadratic equation. So this is telling us, so in this formula, right, we're gonna have b, a, and c. This is telling us, this right here is telling us how we're gonna get a, b, and c. Like what is a, what is b, and what is c. And so based on this general form, it's telling you that the number in front of x squared is a. So in our case, 1 is a. It tells us, excuse me, that the number in front of the number in front of x is b. So in our case, it's negative 30. And telling us that the number that's all alone is c, which is positive 100. And so that's what we have. So we have negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, that's what we have.
so you guys get that. That's all negative.
That's the formula. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. That's the formula. That's the quadratic formula. So
Mr. Petit,
go ahead.
Two of them is quadratic formula.
Yeah, two of them applies together. This really is the solution. to the equation, but this goes along with the top one, because without the top one, you wouldn't know what B is, and you wouldn't know what A is, and you wouldn't know what C is. So they go together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they go together.
What does the 4 represent? And also pop up.
What does the?
Hold on, Mr. T. Let me take a picture, please.
No, I'm not. I'm not leaving it. I'm just. Go ahead.
What does the 4 represent? I don't understand
You
that
mean the
part.
4?
Yeah.
The 4 just is a part of the formula. So the 4 just comes along by virtue of how, when they derived the formula for a quadratic equation, the 4, it just was a 4. And the same thing with the 2, right? That's just a part of the formula. Can't change
Mr.
it.
Badi,
Yes, sir.
which formula are we using? The one on the top or one to the bottom?
Both. So both of them are together. Like I said, that the top one and the bottom one, you can't use one and without use the other. Like, they are together, they are connected. So what the top one is telling you is what A is, what B is, and what C is. And then the bottom one is telling you what to do with them. So for example, in this case, A is going to be the number that's in front of x squared. So for us, the number that's in front of x squared is what? The number that's in front of x squared is what?
A?
It's 1.
1? 1?
Yeah.
1?
1. So 1x squared. So number in front of x squared is 1. So that means that A is 1. Okay. Alright, now B, according to this formula, what is B?
1 negative 30?
Yeah, negative 30, because it's the number in front of x. So it's negative 30. And according to this formula, what is C?
100?
Yes, the number that is by itself. So C is the constant. Alright, so plus A, B, and C. So this formula, the first one, tells us how we're going to get our A, B, and C. And then the second one tells us how to use it. Okay. Kennedy did not use that as a screen. Oh my goodness. Kennedy.
You know a little. What's that word? It's like another word for souvenir.
Oh wow. Wow, you serious though? Wow. Okay. So x is gonna be equal to negative b. Now b is what? Negative 30, right?
Negative 30.
So it's gonna be open bracket. Sorry, let me do this properly. So b is negative 30. It's gonna be open bracket. Negative 30. Close bracket. Plus or minus the square root.
What the plus or minus for?
The plus or minus means that it could be, when you look at a quadratic equation, the quadratic equation is gonna have two solutions, and so it's telling you that the solution is either gonna be a positive or a negative. So you can have two solutions. That's what the plus or minus is. Therefore, otherwise, if we didn't have this plus or minus, we're gonna have to write this whole thing twice, and we don't want to do it.
Oh.
So we just say plus or minus. And b is what? B is again negative 30
30.
squared minus 4. A is what? A is what? 1. And then C is what?
100.
C is 100.
What's between this thing and me and BJC?
It's paper 3. Bgcse. The same. Y'all ain't gonna see this.
Oh,
Yet.
goodness.
Y'all ain't gonna see it yet. Let me just make that known.
And I know you can come.
Alright, so then we have 2a. 2 times a. A is what?
1.
1. So now x is going to be equal to negative, and a negative is a what?
Positive.
Positive. So we have. I don't want to use the same color. Let me use baby blue this time. So x is going to be equal to, again, negative and negative is a positive, so it's positive 30 plus or minus the square root of, what is negative 30 squared? So that's basically negative 30 times negative 30. What is that?
It's negative 900.
Negative 9, but it can't be negative 900.
Positive.
Positive 900.
Yeah.
Positive
30 times 30 is 900.
Positive 900.
Good. Minus, what is 4 times 1?
4.
4. And what is 4 times 100?
400.
400.
400.
Good. Well, we don't have to put that dot on. So this is the square root of, good, all over 2. And so this is going to be equal to, so x equals to 30 plus or minus I don't want to do this on this side. I want to continue. So that's going to be equal to 30 plus or minus, what's the square root? What is 90 minus, what is 900 minus 500? Sorry, what is 900 minus 400?
500.
500 divided by 2. That's going to be equal to, what is the square root of 500? The square root of 500. What is the square root of 500?
I get a decimal. 22 point.
Yes, I'm long and weird. 22.36.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my other option is 10 to the square root of 5. My calculator gave me 2 options.
Okay, work too. Yeah, they're the same thing. Okay, let's leave it as 500, square root of 500 then. So it's gonna be equal to, so x is gonna be equal to,
Mr. Badi, so you're supposed to get a straight number.
you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. In this case, this is a decimal, so it doesn't make sense.
Leave as is.
Yeah, we just leave it as is. We ain't want to, especially since it's a continuous decimal. It's like 22.360679. So I'm not gonna bother with that. I'm just gonna leave it. So x is gonna be equal to two things. Remember, x is two things. So x equals 2, 30. So we're gonna choose the positive one. 30 plus the square root of 500 over 2.
Mr. Badee, why you choose the positive instead and the negative?
No, not instead. I'm gonna write both of them. I just write that one first, and then x is equal to 30 minus the square root of 500.
So is it 2? You'll always have two answers for this?
Yeah, you always have two answers because it's plus or minus.
Mr. Petit, that's too much for a math problem.
What? There's too much. You ain't seen no math problem yet. This is too much for a math problem. You just getting started. Okay. But quadratic equations usually be a bit long. I mean, but it's only one page. Real math problems be pages, man. Sometimes. If you want to do any type of engineering, then be prepared for a lot of computations. All right, so if we could simplify this, we could write it into a decimal after we simplify it. That'll be
Mr. Petit, I have a good question. Can I in my calculator, I just put the 30 plus 22.36 over 2, and I got an answer. Can I just roll with that?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh, okay. So that's what I
wanted to separate them first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No problem. Anyone trying to go to University of West Indies, they advertising. 30 plus the square root of what, 500 divided by 2.
That's all.
That's 26.18. 26.18. So it's going to be 26.18. And then for the negative side, so this is the positive one. Now for the negative one, we get
It wouldn't be the same thing as a negative one.
No.
Miss Petite, so the 30 isn't a whole number?
What 30?
The 30 on the side at the beginning. The 30 at the beginning is not a whole number?
Yeah.
Like, so you wouldn't put it over 2 as well, right? Or it'd have to go over 2 as well?
Yeah, 30 minus square root of 500 over 2.
Oh, so I'll put them over 2.
Yeah, I'll put them over 2, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mr. Petit, that's like 10 points, eh?
3.81, 3.82. No, they're saying 2 points. They're saying
I say like 10 points.
No, they ain't 10 points. 3.82. 3.82.
You rounded it.
Yeah, I rounded it. 3.82. Okay, so these are values. Okay, so here we used the quadratic formula to define our equations for this graph. X squared minus 30x plus 100 equals 0. And this is how you do it. But they
So
wanted us. Go
the
ahead.
graph.
Say it again.
So we don't have to do it on the graph like what it was saying.
But they want us to use the graph to solve the equation. What I did here is I solved the equation using the quadratic formula, hoping that would give me some insight as to how to use the graph to do it. Our graph was, oh, our graph yesterday was this.
I just want to fix in between 50 and 100.
Say it again. And our solutions are 26.18 and 3.82.
Oh.
26.18 and 3.82. Points.
We didn't figure it out.
Say it again.
You didn't get to figure it out.
No. I'm thinking now how we can use. We have our solutions. Granted, you know what I mean. We have it. So if you do it like this, you would get some marks. You wouldn't get all three though. But I just trying to figure out like how we could use the graph to solve. Sort of me. Yeah, down. So how we use
Miss Betty,
Go ahead.
sorry, quick question. When do we actually use this formula? Like, which particular question would you say?
The question would come like this.
So it's always going to come like that?
Yeah, the question would be like this. That's where y is 0. Like we said yesterday, y is 0, x is equal to 0. What I could do is what I could do is let's use Desmos and see. So see if we have any hope of finding it. So what we could do is we could do x squared. This is what we had at the beginning. Sorry, this is biology. What is the equation we had at the beginning with this? Okay, we had 30x minus x squared. So 30x sorry 30x minus x squared that's it right there, right? That's us. Oh, it's a bit steep because we had to go all the way up to 300. So that's us, right? Alright, so let me do it a little bit more smaller. Good. So this is what we drew, right? Now, the equation that we have that they told us was x squared minus 30 x plus 100. Okay.
With upside down?
Yeah, with upside down, which is the upside down u. So this is the one that they want us to find the solutions to. And if you look carefully, the solutions is just basically where, it's just basically where this graph touches the x-axis. And if you look, you see that's 3.82.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what we got, right?
Yes, sir.
Look here, this is 26.18, which is exactly what we got. So those are the solutions to the quadratic equation that they give us. And we know that they're solutions because we use the quadratic equation to get it. Now here we have both graphs in front of us. And I'm trying to figure out if we didn't know the blue, like if we didn't have it in front of us, like if we couldn't graph it, how were we gonna know where this thing intersects? That's what I'm saying. We know where we could figure where they intersect, but that doesn't give us information. We could figure where this intersect, that doesn't give us any information. How would we know where these zeros are if we don't use the quadratic equation? Is there any correlation between this? This is 0. The first point here is 3.82. This is 30. The next one is 26.18. Is there any correlation between 30 and 26.18? And what if we add 3.82 from by 26.18? Let's see, 26.18 plus, what is this, 3.82? Wow, that's exactly 30. See that? That's crazy. That's exactly 30. Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like, this space is exactly the distance of 3.82. And this one is exactly 3.82 too.
You can repeat that?
What I'm saying is, okay, if we look here, this is 0. This is our first. This is 0. Then if 3.82 more, this is going to give us our first point. So what I'm basically trying to say is, if we didn't use the quadratic equation, how could we just by looking at it figure out what the 0 is going to be? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And all we had to do is move 3.82 over, and we would get the first one. And all we had to do is minus 3.82 here. It's cool. It's cool, man.
So how you know it's like how far to move it over?
That's what I'm saying. So the question is, how do we know, like, what is 3.82? What is 3.82? 3.82. 3.82. And how will we know it's 3.82? But 3.82 is exactly 3.82 is exactly 15 minus 5 to the square root of 5. That's what it is right there. 15 minus 5 square root of 5. That's what it is right there. So basically, okay, so because if you put this in your calculator, 15 minus 5 to the square root of 5, that's 3.82. And if you add that to our first zero, you would get that zero there. And if you subtract it, so what's so important about 15 minus 5 to the square root of 5? And how are we going to pick that up from this? Use your graph. They say use your graph. Use your graph. Use your graph. I think they mean algebraically, because, okay, here we know y is equal to 0. The only difference between this and this is there's, but they so similar. Like 30x minus x squared is so similar to this. Only thing that we really do is add the 100. Okay, let's try to do something. Let's try to do something. See if it so they saying use our graph, right? That's this. This one, use this, use our graph. Okay, that means you need to solve this. We do know, however, that then the solution to that is going to be, if we plus 15 minus the square root of 5, we'll get the first 0 for the second one. And if we minus it, we'll get the second 0 for the other one. But the question is, why is that the case for this one? We could play with it a bit, and then after that, we'll see where it carries. If it doesn't carry us nowhere, then we have to come back to it again. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. But in the exam,
Typically, I am so lost from the when you call on the graph. Do I have to know this basis? Because I'm still confused.
if you have to know the what?
This space you're touching on, like how we get 3.8.
Yeah, like we have to know that because this way is right. Both ways, this is right. So we got the solutions, but we didn't use the graph to do it.
Oh, because yeah, once you call on the graph, I was confused with the points and yeah, I was lost.
We use the quadratic equation to get this, right?
Yeah.
But they tell us to use the graph.
Okay.
So we kind of cheat them. So when we get our solutions, that's good. And they will mark our solutions. It's just that we didn't use it their way. I'm trying to say is how we could use the graph. Like if we, I just say use the graph. So so when they say use the graph, I'm not sure if they're talking about the formula or use the literal graph. But I'm gonna see if we could, from the formula, work something out such that we could get our solutions. So because they so similar. As I'm trying to say, like there has to be some sort of correlation now. At least in my mind, it seems. So this is the graph that we have, y equals 30x minus x squared. We're trying to make it to look like this somehow. So the first thing that I would do, that would be, that would be right. That would still make sense, is that if I negate everything, so this is going to be negative y is equal to negative 30x plus x squared. Okay. So I did nothing. I didn't change anything, right? This is still the same thing, because all I did was negate everything. All right. The next thing that I could do here is that I want to add 100 to both sides. So this is going to be 100.
Mr. D, rewrite this, or you just trying something? Because I lost.
All I did was negate everything. That's all I did. All right, for now, just watch them. Don't write it down yet. Don't write it down. Just watch how we trying to figure it out. Don't write it down yet. So 100 minus y is going to be negative 30x. But remember, we added 100 to this side, so we have to add 100 to this side as well. It's going to be plus x squared plus 100. Sorry. Let me do it again. So we add 100 to this side, so we must add 100 to this side again. So it's going to be negative 30y. Sorry, negative 30x. Sorry. Plus x squared plus 100. Good. And so here we have 100 minus y is equal to, we could rewrite this side as this. That's exactly the same thing. So this is going to be x squared minus 30x plus 100. Right? And this is going to be 100 minus y. So this is what we have. Now,
Mr. Petit. Oh, am I?
No, I'm looking at it. So we have this side is equal to this side. That's what this is telling us. We know that if x is 0, then sorry. Yeah, if x is 0 and y is 0, this will be true. If x is 0 and if x is 30 and y is 0, this will work too. Now to solve this one, using this. Even if we do that, it still wouldn't make no sense. Even if we set both sides equals to each other, that wouldn't solve the problem. I'll just end at the intersection points. If we try to factorize it, we could factorize it. We could factorize it. We could factorize it, you know. We could factorize it. We could, you know. Because saying that x is equal to 0. We could factorize this. We could. If that's the case, then that would just be a repeat of that. And we wouldn't use this. No, none coming now. Alright, so for now we're just gonna stay with using it this way for now. At least we know how to use it using the quadratic formula. Stick a pin in it. And
Mr. T,
yes, sir.
I get lost at 3.82. My calculator giving me something else.
Can I give you something else?
Yeah.
Make sure I put 30 minus the square root. Right? Or you could do it piece by piece. Do 30 minus the square root of 500. Get that answer, then divide it by 2. Understand? Did you get it?
No.
No? What do you get when you do it that way?
You're giving me 30 minus 10, the square root of 5.
Good. Now press equal to give you to turn it a decimal. And then divide it by 2.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, yeah, so we did this the quadratic formula way. I'm still lost as to how to figure it using the graph, so to come back to that. The only thing I could say is the important observation I could say is that, well, if we add 3.82 to our first 0, we get the 0 for the second one, and if we subtract our 0 from the second one, we get this one. You know, so that's interesting observation. We could figure it out, but I don't want to take too much of your time. So I know how much math y'all interested in. So we just do that. I do that with me, myself, and I. It'll be an interesting thing just to see how it comes out, see how it plays out. Okay, so let's go back to, so then we're gonna do the gradient. We're coming back to that, but let's go to this paper. So 2015 Bgcse. As we always do, we're gonna start from the back. Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna be a graphing. Okay, so what nice thing they give us at the back? Okay, at the back we get a nice construction. 20 questions on this paper. Wow. And how much time you'll have to do this? What, 2 hours? An hour? Okay, 2 hours. All right. Not that bad. Okay, so let's begin. So they're saying that using a ruler and a pair of compasses with AB as your base, triangle, construct ABC with AC being 7 centimeters and BC being 6 centimeters. Alright, so take with your pair compass and a ruler. So let's construct this thing. So construction, tools. So we're gonna first draw in AB. We don't know the length of AB, at least they didn't tell us explicitly. We don't know what that is. We just have a line segment now. We don't know what AB is. They didn't tell us what AB is. So I'm just gonna draw a regular line of any length. Alright? We're gonna call that AB. Let me bring it down a little. And so we're gonna call this one AB. Line segment AB. Good. So this one right now, this is A. This one right now, this is B.
So when you finish, Sean, like you get the question, please.
No problem, Miss Cooper. So someone is asking to join. Let me allow them to get in. All right, so it's gonna be, so AC is gonna be 7 centimeters, and BC is gonna be 6 centimeters. So we can need to draw an arc this time. So we need to go on our ruler and measure out 7 centimeters. We're gonna start at the point 0 and go all the way up to 7.
How long the line is for AB?
It's of any length because they didn't tell us, eh?
Okay.
So it's gonna be start there, and then we're going to draw.
Mr. Badee.
Yes, sir.
If you get something like that, right? Like, how long would you draw the line for A to B?
From A to B. Okay, so the good thing is that it's on the paper, so you wouldn't need to have to worry about drawing it. You just would have to start from A. See what I'm saying? So I just draw it in by myself because I am not using their paper. I'm using another platform, so that's why. Okay. You understand?
That's all.
Not again.
I know, right?
What is that name, night guard?
Peter Nygaard. No, Peter Nygaard.
I know him.
Say you know him. You know him personally? Please say.
Oh no, I don't want to get close to him.
Please say no. All right, so this is 7 centimeters in length. All right, that's how long the arcs. That's how long the arc's supposed to be. The distance from this from A. So make sure that's 7 centimeters. Okay. All right, so.
Oh boy.
Oh, I know, right?
You don't change this in a while.
I know, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
What's the you can't block him, mate?
Like it's
I thought you would deny it. It's you can't come up.
And resistant.
I know, resistant. All that. Nothing to do in life.
I thought once you remove deny the entry, they can't join.
All right, so. Goodness. All right, so BC is gonna be what? 6 centimeters.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so.
Good. So, my goodness.
Yeah, go sleepy.
You could let them come in and just mute them, you know.
No. You may never know if they might share the screen.
But I'll be some.
You don't want them to share the screen. Let's see.
I think we should let them in and remove them. That might work.
Oh yeah, that's true. And then report people.
Darn smart, no.
I know, right?
Automatically, once you let them in, that's how you let.
They so fast, man. That's
Yes.
That's Lionel trying to enter. I know.
No, that was from 6:50. Oh no.
Okay. Okay, so
I get the question.
so moving on. So this is gonna be so we need to make this 6 centimeters.
Excuse me, Mr. D.
Lionel say that's Johnny.
That's Jonathan. I don't know why you put his name to that. Wait.
No, Jonathan already in.
Jonathan already, yeah.
My bad.
Jonathan wouldn't do that.
He always say that in school, so I thought that was him.
You serious? Wow. Yeah, it's funny. Oh my goodness.
No way, bro.
Oh my goodness. Wow. 6 centimeters. Wow, that's a joke of the day. Wow.
Lionel come to class and say that's Jonathan. Wow.
Where's Jonathan? Jonathan? Where are you, Jonathan? Redeem yourself. Let them know that you're not. Okay, so we need to do this. So this is going to be 6 centimeters. So we need to extend that. Now, notice that they don't connect, right? So what do you think we need to do?
Mr. Badi, hey, this me.
Connect.
You're right. So
That's right. I would line dog, but any Peter and I got like what?
No. Lionel has a point. Lionel says that that's what you say in school. Is that true?
Nah, that's cap. That's cap. I used to say it in grade 8.
Okay.
And Lionel used to be saying that too. Everyone used to say that, so I ain't what he talking about.
Oh wow. All information coming out tonight. Alright. So we have two little Peter guards in our class. Why that's the joke of the semester.
Stay away from our children.
Kennedy playing right along. Anyway, this is 6. This is supposed to be 7, so we need to increase this because it's not touching. So we're gonna increase this to 7. Good. Yeah, so
they have to touch?
They have the cross. How are you gonna know where C can be? Yes.
Sorry, Mrs. I just popped in again. What are we doing?
Just wake up.
No, I wasn't. I had to help someone.
Alright, so what we did is we started at 0 and extended our line all the way to 7, right? And then
that's AB.
Yeah, this is gonna be AB. So let me draw our arc from E, and that's our first arc, 7 centimeters long. And our second arc is 6 centimeters long. So we went to our ruler, and then we went here, and then we drew our arc of 6 centimeters right here. Okay.
And how wide did you extend the arc?
So the first one at A is 7.
Okay.
And the second one is 6. So and then we draw it for 6 centimeters. All right. Sorry. So we draw it for 6 centimeters. So that's what we did.
Mr. B.
Yes, sir.
So why is the neck it?
They have to connect because we draw a triangle. Then they say, your triangle. We draw a triangle. They must connect because that's gonna be our third point. You know, triangle has 3 points. So A, B, and C. If you don't connect it, then you wouldn't know where the point will meet so that you can make it C. So you need to connect it. Is this Alicia ready?
I can get that question out when I was finished.
Miss Rackley, is that you? They say speak now or forever hold peace.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we took a while to let you in because Peter and I God was trying to come in this class.
Who?
Peter and I God. You serious? I ain't joking.
Sorry, but that's the name.
Say it again. Yeah, I'm serious. Peter and I God said that right there.
She asked if that's a
Trying to
name.
take the insurance.
Nancy, everybody knows who's Peanut Eye guy.
I don't.
Yeah, all right. The infamous
I
Peanut
can
Eye
tell
guy.
you.
Kennedy, please.
I
Kennedy,
don't.
place your
I
ballot.
understand. I
Who
don't
is
know who
that
that
though?
is.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
Thank you.
It's between guidelines, but I can tell you all later.
Yeah, tell them later. Tell them later.
Isn't that the millionaire who are
But,
killing?
he's the nice person who does a lot for the Bahamas.
Miss Medee.
No,
Yes, sir.
well, he's not nice.
For the record, we will address Mr. Nygaard as the nice man who does a lot for the Bahamas. Okay, so then you connect this point to A. Yes, sir, Ricardo, you had a question.
I was saying if you go back on the question, bless.
Okay.
We finish.
Okay, no problem. Sorry, Lionel, we had you waiting because... Oh, there he is again. Because we had suspicious entries. Who's this? Yeah, I see him now. Okay, so let's go back to... So now we had to connect them, right? So... Okay, good. And so we're gonna label this as...
See?
C.
So from A to C is 7 centimeters, right?
Yes, sir. From A to C is 7 centimeters. And then from... Yeah, I'll let you see the question. And then from C to B to C is how much?
6 centimeters.
6 centimeters, yes. Make sure label. Very important.
You can show you label how you get the A to C one more time using the compass, please.
A to C. Okay, what I did. Excuse me. Sorry, coronavirus does not fly through screens, so you have to put on your mask. Don't worry, I'm fully vaccinated.
You vaccinated for Drew?
Never. Oh, my dead body. What do you think? All right. Don't worry. The same things that they already say for what? For 1 moment. Give me 1 moment. All right. Want me to fix it properly, please? So, yeah. Yeah, they okay, so you was asking me to show you how we got the A to C, right?
Please.
Yeah, so I just went on my law, right? And then I start at 0. Okay, and then I extend it all the way to 7. Okay. Once I get to 7, I lock it. Okay. And then I go to the point A, and then I draw arc. Okay. Okay, that's the arc there. Understand that? That's how I got that.
Okay.
Yes,
And then you do the same thing for B to C.
For B to C, I just do it 6 though.
Yeah, for 6 centimeters instead of the 7.
Yeah. Yeah, but it seems to me that the protocol. Go ahead.
Can you have 6 cm? We got label that, right?
Yes, you have to label them.
I mean, for the line where we draw on the man, but like how they have the line draw on the tank Right, we still have to label it.
You mean AB?
Label it?
AB?
Yes, sir.
No, you don't label
Yes,
it.
sir.
You don't label it.
Mr. Badi,
Yes, sir.
no matter triangles we construct, how can we then like you then cut it, like cut the A to B line?
Oh, I didn't cut it.
Okay, man, like usually when you do the arc, you do have to
Yeah, the arc.
over.
How come I didn't do the arc?
Look, like to the bottom, like you put it like put the point to A and go around.
Oh, sorry, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Okay, Mr. T, remember like when you put a straight line, you would usually do half of the line a little over when you constructing your arc.
Oh,
But for this one, you didn't do it.
that's because we was doing. That's because we was doing angle. That's because we was doing like 60 degrees or something like that.
That's what you wanted to know.
Yeah, we that those 12 times we had a specific degree on A. So like A probably had to been 60 degrees or 30 degrees or something like that. So we had to do the arc first here and then extend it out. But for this one, they just give us a number on how long the line should be. So we just follow that number. All right. I don't know if that helps to answer the question. But it's a difference when we are doing an angle and constructing an angle at A as opposed to when we're just drawing a long line at A. Okay, so the next thing that they want us to do here is, I can't believe it's 7, 5, 14, How in the world did that happen?
Mr. T, if actually, can I get the question?
You want the question? No, I can't give you the question. I'm a meanie.
I needed to.
Alright, only cause it's Cooper needed then.
Wow.
Ole. Wow.
Mr. Batik, can you give me some time to write the question? Because I just come in.
Sure, no problem. No problem.
Okay.
Not at all.
Wow. That was a powerful no problem.
Cooper, at least you realize and you notice.
You said that so fast too.
And agree right away. Not.
Oh, boy.
And this one who always interacts with Mr. T, you know, Mr. T.
Right.
You're good. I just said no problem.
I'm probably on strike.
No problem. I can't.
Tell him, Ramsey. Tell him.
Kennedy, you sound like you them students who's be like, fight.
I'm not an instigator.
Yes, I believe.
I'm not an instigator. I'm actually the opposite, surprisingly.
Yeah, no, Kennedy, you don't convince me.
Okay.
We good?
I'm good. We're good.
Okay. Alright, just making sure that you have it already before I move on.
But you're not access to feeder.
Cool. All right.
Not us. Okay, then we see you, Mr. Petit.
No, man, don't take it like that. All right, so let's move forward. So now we want to bisect AB. All right. So that means we want to cut it in half. Right. So how would we cut this long in half? Okay. So
Go near to the middle and draw an arc.
that's what I'm talking about, Kimberly. Very good.
Yeah.
Peter and I God wouldn't leave us alone. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's complete desperation. Man. I mean, it's like at some point, right? I ain't even gonna deny him.
It's sad, really.
Yeah, like come on, like man. All right, so we gotta. I'm not sure if this could work for this one because we're so close to the bottom. I wish I had draw this. Um. I wish I drew it. You know. I wish I drew it a little further up, but let's see what we could do. So ideally, what you want to do is you want to extend your. Sorry. You want to take your compass and extend it a little more than half, but 75% of the line. We definitely, I can have to clear this. So if you don't have this already, I'm going to clear it. So just take a good look at it. Can I clear it?
Wait, so okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to clear it. Now, you have to bisect it on your graph though. But I'm going to clear it because I need to put it up at the top. So on the same graph, on the same thing, where's the ruler? Anyway, let me reset this. So yeah, I just want to do it up. Okay, so we're gonna bisect this line. So
Still using this. See,
using the same line,
okay.
but mine is gonna be like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'll start at E, and like I said, I'm gonna extend this to a little bit more than half of it. All right, but 75% there. All right, we can send a little bit more if we want to, right there. But it have to definitely be 60%, more than 50% for sure. 75% of the line. Lock it, then go all the way up and go all the way down. Oh, my line is too big again. And then we're gonna go to the other side. I wonder if we could make it. And then we want to draw a next arc all the way down. Okay, we're not gonna make it, so I need to clear this and make the line higher. And maybe shorten the line a bit. Just to show you how it's done. So let's do it. Say.
So we bisecting it twice, look like.
No, we only bisecting it. Why understand what you mean? No. It's only considered to be one bisection, and I'll show you why. But we're cutting it. We're cutting the line twice.
Mr. Petit,
Yes, sir.
is it best to bisect the phrase?
What you mean?
Like,
Oh, you mean you? Oh,
like what you do now, is it best to do this first and do the angle?
no. They told us to do that second. So just follow that sequence. So they told us to construct the angle. So to construct the where are we? They told us to construct the where are we? We are here. No, not there. They told us to construct the triangle. Then they tell us to bisect it in B. So just follow that sequence. Okay. So let's bisect this thing. So a little more than half right here. Lock that. Extend it outward and in. There we go. That's how it's supposed to look. A nice C shape. And then go here and cut it again. Nice, just like that. That's how it's supposed to look. Good. And then you want to take your ruler and draw a line straight in the middle. And that's what we mean by bisected. Bisected basically means to cut it in half. Okay, so let's see how we do this. All right, so let's cut it. Very good. Directly in the middle. All right, and so we've bisected the line. Any questions on this?
Yeah, mine don't look like yours, though, Mr. Petit.
What you mean? It's supposed to. What's the problem?
Look at that
Like you said,
intersection
you
so
put your
large.
Yeah, that's my problem. Yours
what?
bigger than mine. Yeah, that's the middle area. A little bigger.
Yeah, same thing.
The middle area? What you mean? You mean the...
Intersection.
Mine's is
Yeah.
just like yours, same size.
I mean, it depends on how big you draw your AB, you know. All right. And it depends
So
on where you put your arc. Like I put my first arc clearly 75% of my line. So once I have that, then it's gonna be big. Let me see.
Oh.
Let me see. Let's see. What's the name? You sent it already, one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me check it. So see what's happening. All right. Oh wow, very small. Okay, so
mine's a
the
little
issue
bigger.
here is you need to increase that. This is about 50% of it. I want it to be closer like here. You see what I'm saying?
You could repeat that one more time, please.
You see your first arc right here?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That's 50% of the line. That's about half of the line. You don't want that. Do it like 75% closer to here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your problem. So that's the issue. Anyone else?
They're trying to make mine bigger.
Okay. So like I said, extend this arc to more than half of the line, like 75% of the line. All right. So that your bulging point, your bulging sides would be good. Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, never mind. Mr. Petit,
Yes, ma'am.
you see when we draw a straight line down the middle, like it have to be on line with C too, like coming across C.
No. I mean, it depends. It depends on how it's constructed. I don't have the other stuff there, so you
So
always
like if C was up top, there it had to be lined up with C.
they don't have to be. They don't have to be. They'd have to. Yeah, I don't have to be lined up. See. Okay, so let's move on. All right, Belby. Okay, so that was that. Okay, so bum, 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 bum. Okay, so let's go.
So, you need to go back on the second question, please.
You want to bisect?
Yeah, I'll write it down. I have it.
Okay. All right. We good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we need to find the gradient. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, okay, so let's go. We need to find the gradient at a specific point. Man, where's that paper? We just okay, there we go.
So another part to this question.
No, to the same construct thing that yeah.
No.
Yeah. Calculate the gradient, excuse me, of the curve at the point 10, 200, right? And gradient is slope. So calculate the gradient of the curve.
Excuse me, Mr. Petit.
Yes, sir.
You busy after class?
I busy after class.
Yeah.
I think I have time to spare. Once you have a few questions, eh?
Yeah, just a few.
Okay, alright, no problem. Go look at.
Y'all already figure out CA.
Oh, see. Oh yeah, we did it using the quadratic formula. That was it was only a short little thing that we did, just a short little thing that we did. Just
Well,
once.
let me screenshot that.
Some may disagree with my definition
Okay.
of short, but okay.
Okay.
Looking about. Okay, so let's go back to that. We need to find the gradient, sorry. Alright, so we need to find the gradient of the curve at the point 10 to 100. Sorry, let me so write this down. So in order to find the gradient of this curve, what we need to do is we have to use a tangent line. Okay, so
Come take it off.
I'll take it off, yeah?
Mr. Petit, this on the paper 3, right?
Yeah, it's still a paper 3, yeah.
That thing where we just do, where we had to bisect and all that was on the paper 3?
No, that's the all. That's the all.
I haven't Miss Petit.
Oh, that was too easy for me.
You say that was what, too easy?
No, I just, I didn't expect that to be on paper 3.
You didn't expect it to be on what?
Paper 3.
No, that was the you mean the construction?
Yes.
That was on thing, huh?
Yes, sir.
That was on your paper 2.
You mean the bisect thing what we just do?
That was paper 2, Bgcse. Alright. This question is paper 3, Bgcse. Alright, so let's go back to it. So we want to find the slope at the point 10 to 100 right now. Okay, that's what we want to do. So in order for us to find the slope of this curve at the point, right, what we'll have to draw is we'll have to draw a tangent line. So let me just write the steps for you. So in order, duplicate. So in order, so finding the slope in a quadratic function. So quadratic functions, or we could say the graph, really. The graphs of quadratic functions are unlike linear functions in the sense that um, the graphs of linear functions are straight lines, but for quadratic functions, it is curves. So we have upsided or downsided U shape curves, right? Therefore, to find the graph, the slope of a quadratic function, so since we have notice that this is a curve, right? And remember we say the slope is defined as rise over run. But here we don't have a like, for example, where's the rise, where's the run? Like,
I'll see.
what is it? Like, there's no line. You see what I'm saying? So
There's none.
there's none. So in order to find the slope, what we need to do is we need to draw one line, all right, to be able to do it. Because notice that this is a curve, but for slope we need rise over run. In order for us to get a rise over run, we need a line, and so we love to draw a line to get our slope. Okay, so therefore to find the slope of a quadratic function, we need to do this in the following way. So we need to first draw a tangent line at the point where we need to find the slope at. And by the way, a tangent line is a line that gives the graph, we say, a kissing blow, right? Or we say it is a line that touches the graph at one and only one point. So tangent line is going to be this line that touches the graph at one and only one point. Or we say it gives the graph a kissing blow. That's a nice touch, you know. So that's a tangent line. So we're going to draw that tangent line at the point where we need to find the slope at. And then the second thing we're going to do is we need to find the slope of that line using the formula. Using the slope formula, let's just say that. All right. Okay. So the quadratic formula, or the graph of a quadratic function is different than the graph of a linear function. For linear functions, there's a straight line, and for straight lines, we have constant slope. The slope never changes; the same slope. But for quadratic equations, you can see that the slope changes, like, because at one point we going up, another point we go flat, another point we go down. You see that, right? So the slope changes. Remember what we said, the slope is by definition. Remember what slope by definition?
How steep the line is.
How steep something is, right? The steepness. Now, the steepness of this changes, right? Would you agree? Like,
Yes.
here it's steep, and then it's getting steeper, and then
It goes down.
No. Here it is really steep, then it's getting less steep, and then less steep until it eventually flats on us. And then it goes down and down and down and down and down. So it doesn't have a constant slope. So at each point, the slope is going to be different. So that's why it differs from a line. For a line, it doesn't matter wherever we go, we can have the same slope, constant slope. If it's going up, it's going up. If it's going down, it's going down. Like, it ain't changing. It don't go up, down, side, you know. But for a quadratic function, the slope changes, all right? And so, you know, and so that's why they asked us specifically, what is the slope? If you look carefully at the question, they said, what is the slope at a particular point? What is that point? What is that point?
10,200.
10 to 100. Okay, 10 to 100. So that's where we need to find the slope of the curve at that point. Okay, so so that's the thing. So let's go. So the first thing I said we need to do is what's the first thing that we need to do?
I can draw a tangent line.
Very good. Draw a tangent line at the point. Okay. And what is a tangent line?
And line that gives the graph a kissing bow. Boop.
Kiss and blow. Basically, it's the line that touches it touches the graph at one point. Okay, so we need to draw this line, and so this is the point 10 to 100, right? Right there.
Yes, sir.
Let me zoom it in so people
Yes, sir.
can see it. This is the point 10 to 100. Do we all see that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Do we see that that's the point?
Yes.
This is the point 10 to 100. All right, any questions?
At stock market drop
So you can go back to the notes thingy because I'm
You ain't finish write that down?
That long?
That long? How's that long?
And every time you switch it.
Every second? My.
Miss Petit, can you read that next the sentence after the kiss and blow?
Say it again.
Can you just read that same part right there, or read is a line?
A tangent line is a line that gives the graph a kiss and blow, or it is a line that touches the graph at one and only one
Oh, okay.
point.
You just need to move we then. Sorry.
What I need to move?
We. Or we.
You put or we it is.
Or we say. Or we say it is. I just testing y'all, making sure y'all
Who's lost is it?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Lionel. I mean, Jonathan.
On me?
I think I was
saying something. I thought that was you, Jonathan.
Oh, no, sir. But I have show you some after glass.
Okay, no problem.
That's all.
Wait, tonight is the night of the essays? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. All right? Am I right?
I mean, something like that.
Yeah, sounds so quiet.
Something like that.
Something like that.
No.
You already give that person a 5 out of 10. I want to see what y'all are doing today.
You, Mr. Petit, I said 6. I was being generous.
No. And Kennedy, one, say, 3 out of 10. I had to bring it up to 5. So we're gonna draw the tangent line, and then find the slope of that tangent line. So
Not finished.
not finished.
Well, Miss Petit, give me a minute. I dropped out because of my internet. So
Yeah, I know it's internet now. Yeah, because you can't see it's sleeping. So
Miss T, I am not sleeping. They're moving around in my house, and I have to move with them. And the internet was down just like a couple of minutes, unplugged.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
You don't believe me.
Certainly.
You don't turn under the bus anyhow.
Just make sure you quickly write this down. Quickly write it.
She said she almost leave. Come on, she done take her test.
Miss Brackley, are you done with this?
What
happened?
Yeah, after my test, was did I go on? That's me. You can see me in my
I asked a question. I can't ask questions like fast enough.
You done throwing me under the bus.
It was me and Kenny and Nancy who asked.
Whatever I do to offend you, I apologize.
Oh boy.
I done now.
All right.
Hold on, wait, yeah, please. 5. Okay, give me 20 seconds.
5.
Oh Lord.
4, 3, 2. All right. So the tangent line, like I said, is the point. It's just a line that touches the graph at one and only 1 point. So once we
Okay, I'm done.
No problem. Once we draw that line, that tangent line, then we find the slope of the tangent line because we know how to find the slope of lines. We just use rise over run or the slope formula. So this is the point 10 to 100, like I said before, like I emphasized before. Again, this is the point 10 to 100, and so we're going to basically just draw a tangent line at this particular point. Remember, the tangent line is going to touch that graph at only this point. So when you're drawing this line, make sure that it touches this point and only this point as best as you can. All right. Now it's definitely going to look like it's touching the other ones because, you know, that's the nature of using ink. But in theory, in mathematical theory, we say that it only touches it at 1 point, right? And in theory, that's how it's supposed to be. It's only supposed to touch it at 1 point. But when you draw it, actually, the points will look so together, so close that it looked like it touched the graph at more than 1 point. But in theory, we think about it as only 1 point because, you know, we can't really show that properly using these because we have to show width and, you know, we have to actually see it. But in mathematical theory, we say that it only touches the graph at 1 point. So let's draw this line. So let's see who's knocking on the door before we move this, before we do it. So who is knocking on the door? Okay, mosquito. All right, so let's go back to our. So let's draw this line. So and I must touch the point. So let me draw this point, draw this line, and good. Alright, so that's my tangent line. Let me see if it's properly a tangent line. So one moment, let's see.
So we just running it, but yeah.
So
why exactly?
Say it again.
So let's stop.
Why that way?
Why? What way?
I understand you're trying to do a tangent line, but I'm trying to figure out.
Go ahead, ask the question.
I don't understand. Yeah, anyway, I just continue. Sorry.
You sure?
You sure?
I just don't know why you put it there. I don't know.
Where you want me to put it? Remember, they told us to put it at the point 10 to 20. I mean 10 to 100. Didn't know what they say? They said they are.
I think she was in class.
Calculate the gradient
between 10 and 200.
No, they say at the point 10 to 100. So our tangent line must touch the graph at that point 10 to 100.
Oh, okay. I see. I understand. It's point wise, all right?
Point wise, because you're using that for true. But while we were taking a nap, we was explaining that
I was not taking a nap.
You anyway.
She was in here. She had Wi-Fi.
Yeah, while you were absent, we was explaining that if you look at a line, it has constant slope, right? The slope is the same, but when you look at a quadratic graph, the slope changes. So from point to point, the slope is going to change. So like here it is steep, and then here it gets flatter and flatter until it, until it actually is flat straight across, and then it goes down. So the graph of a parabola or the graph of a quadratic graph, its slope is not constant. So we're gonna have what we call point-wise slope. Like the slope is going to be given based on the point that you are talking about. Now for a for a linear graph, we didn't have to do it because a line that goes straight always goes straight. Like it's a constant slope. But for the quadratic one, it changes, the slope changes based on the point that you're at. And so that's why we specifically put the tangent line at the point 10, 20, sorry, 10, 200, because that is the what should I say? That is the point where we want to determine the slope. All right. Does that make sense, Nancy?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so now with that being said, now all we need is all we need to do is determine rise over run. And so yeah, this is gonna be easy, rise over run. Okay, so we need, so for this one, because we want to figure out what the slope is, it's gonna be rise over run. I'm gonna color it like so. So rise is gonna be in baby blue. So rise, so this is the slope. Let me make sure that we see this clearly. Dun, 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 dun. Erase all link. So slope equals, or should I put it underneath? So let me do it properly. So this is supposed to be, let me do it properly. This is supposed to be, all this goes under D. All right. So what I'm about to write goes under D. Calculate the gradient of the curve. So slope so the slope at this point is going to be equal to, like we said before, how much points is this for anyway? 3 points. They say calculate it. Oh my goodness, they say calculate. They said calculate, people. They said calculate. So we have to use the slope formula. I just gonna use the rise over run. Alright, so we have this slope formula. So it's gonna be y2. Let's use the, yeah, don't worry, but let's use y2 minus y1 divided by x2 over x1, and it's going to be equal to, so let's go back to our graph. You have to be very wise in choosing your points now. So yes, ma'am.
In my view, put Y1 first.
It does.
So you always have to put 2 first.
Y2 first, yeah. So the first point that we're going to use, remember, we need 2 points for this. The first point that we're going to use is this point, the point 10 and 200, this very same one. So that's our first point. The point 10, 200. We need 2 points that's on this line. Any 2 points will work, but be smart in the points that you choose. So I'm choosing this point, and I'm also choosing, this one is also clear, so let's use this one. This is the point 15 to 50. 15, 250. So that's my second point. 15, 250. Anyone unclear on how we chose those points?
So you choose no one like what's close to the line or no?
Choosing 2 points that are on the line. So this point
Oh.
right here is on the line. That's 10, 200. And this is the next one that's on the line. That's 10, 200. All right. And I choose in points that I could easily see what they are. So this one, I could clearly see that this is on the line. I would choose this one too. This one could be used. This one also could have been used. This one also could have been used. I wouldn't choose anything in the middle there. Why wouldn't I choose a point like this?
Hard to tell what
It's
it
hard
on.
to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell what it was exactly happening now. Same thing with this one. It's hard to tell. You know, that would be a stupid choice. I hate to use the word stupid, but it would be an unwise choice.
How
So,
would you know which one is Y2 and X, I mean Y1? I'm confused.
okay, so the first one that you chose, it's going to be your X1s and Y1s. The second one that you choose is going to be your X2s and Y2s. So in our case, the first one we chose was 10 to 100. And so that would be this one right here. This would be X1, right? Similarly, this would be what? Y1.
Y1.
Yeah. And then for this one would be X2. And then this one would be Y2. All right. And so there you have it. So Y2 is 250. Yeah. Minus Y1, which is 200.
200.
Divided by X2, which is 15.
Minus 250.
Minus
I mean, minus 10.
minus 10.
Oh my.
It's going to be equal to, what is 250 minus 200?
50.
50, 50. Divided by 15 minus 10 is what? 5.
5.
And what is 50 divided by 10? 50 divided by 5, sorry,
10.
is 10.
10.
Yeah. So the slope is 10.
10. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
So Mr. Badi,
Yes, sir.
the tangent line we draw, leave it there.
Leave it down. Yeah, leave it down. That's a part of it, yeah.
So when we come back, then we make it up.
No, just allow me to come. Okay, are we good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Any questions on this? Oh, that was pretty straightforward. Any questions on this?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, moving right along. It's 8:02. How?
What?
Just in time.
Oh,
Oh, it's 8:02. Ah. Ah.
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you step out just like a couple extra minutes? I'm gonna be listening, but I ain't gonna be near the laptop. You understand what I mean?
Hey, I hear you. I hear you. All right, lights out. All right, so let's go to our.
Okay, no problem. Hey, but she have make sure she have right? No problem. You say she no problem. 9 o'clock. But I don't know when we go. I don't know if you want.
All right, give me one moment, people. All right, so okay, so moving right along. All right, so we have the essays to look at, right? So I have what essay we looking at now? Oh yes, it was on the thing. So we already dealt with that particular essay from that individual. I mean, I'm not gonna look at.
You do 3 questions in math.
Say it again.
You need to do 3 questions.
So I'm saying I don't know where all the time going though. That's the question. That's right.
First question out us.
That first question, honestly, yeah, yeah, that quadratic equation just eat up all the time. Plus we start late, so I guess you know sometimes it's like that. Um, sometimes it's like that, and sometimes we finish a lot. But like it only take like I said, it only takes one extended paper question to eat up all the time, to be honest. Okay, so yeah, so I'm not gonna look at this one tonight. I'm gonna go to the BGCSE one just to give us some change. So hopefully the person who did the BGCSE one, um, hopefully it's better than the BJC one. Um, hopefully it's better.
Let's see, that reason calling my bad.
You trying to call me? What's happening? I in class.
No, I was sending the pictures and my hand missing. Click the button.
I in class with Cooper. I can't take the calls. All right. So the question says it's from one of my BGCSE students. All right. So we're gonna tear this apart, right, Kennedy?
I could be nice because
Okay.
I don't want you to cuss at my phone.
You want to be nice, okay? So we can fill this one with love. Okay, all right. Okay. So recently it has been suggested that I can try to mark this harder because this is more as expected, from BGCSE people. So that's another thing. So if you thought we needed sophisticated language for BGCSE, we definitely need it. We can't be slopping up with that one. We have to really, really, you know, impress the candidates. So not the candidates, the examiners. So anyway, recently it has been suggested that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-aged children in the Bahamas. Do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your answer. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is there's no plan. I don't see no plan here. I don't see no plan. So we can't mark no plan. So we just have to start with the introduction. Okay, so the person begins in the following way. I agree with this statement that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-aged children in the Bahamas. I think that implementing a nighttime curfew.
Alex, that's fine.
I think that implementing a nighttime curfew law is an excellent idea. It is important that young children are home at a specific time to avoid distractions after hours. A curfew law is needed. Children will excel in their exams. They wouldn't get involved in criminal activity, and they wouldn't be victims to any hideous crime. Firstly, children will excel in their exams. All right, so, oh my. Okay, so, oh boy. All right, so let's begin. So we're gonna first begin with general structure, and then we're gonna deal with the introduction. So general structure.
She got a statement in.
Okay, this is in we don't know if it's a he or a she, so
It.
you can't say it. The candidate or the student, right? Say it. All right, general structure. How much paragraphs is this? This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this is 4. Why is it only 4? I'm supposed to be
5.
5. Can anyone identify their problem? Why they only have 4 instead of 5?
Yes.
The conclusion.
No, they have a conclusion.
They didn't indent at the very first.
They did indent at the first thing. What did they do?
They didn't indent for another paragraph.
They joined paragraph 1 and 2.
Exactly. So what they did wrong is that they put the introduction in the first paragraph, first body paragraph in 1. That's the problem.
I have a question. Sorry, but aren't you supposed to print
yeah,
for the exam as well?
Good. So
for real,
printing is best. Not that it's mandatory, but printing is best. So I wouldn't cursive. If I have a good print, like some people they can't write in print. Like if they write in print, it'll be more horrible than if they write in cursive. In that case, well, do your cursive thing. But you should try to print as much as possible.
So why do they teach cursive if print is what they encourage you to use in high school?
Well, they teach it so that you can know how to do it, right? But really and truly, we print is just more
standard, right? Isn't it?
Standard, yeah. Print is just more standard. Like even when you go fill out applications, what they say, print your name. Like you don't want to read cursive. Like,
in school, my teachers don't accept cursive. They won't mark it. Depend.
Yeah, we stopped. I mean, the only thing I remember cursive was cursive. We just did that a few, and then I could never get cursive. Like it just didn't stick to me. And I just felt that was too much rules, man. But yeah, cursive is good for. I tell you what cursive is good for when you're in college and you're trying to take fast notes. Oh my goodness, that's perfect. Like you do some cursive, like you would write down so fast. So it's good for personal note taking, I would say. But for general writing, like someone else is gonna read it, you better print, right? So try to print as much as possible, What I'll also say is, so separate. They didn't separate the introduction and the first body paragraph. Right, so that's a problem, right? So they didn't separate, they didn't separate the intro and the first body paragraph, which is a problem. You need to separate them. That's a fact. So that's why they did not have five paragraphs, because they failed to separate that. For Bgcse people, you can't make that mistake now. can't make that mistake. Make sure you have them separated. That's general structure. I just felt that looking at it, what else you see? Like just general structure. Be honest now.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
What do you mean? Are they writing it?
What else you see? It's
I can't understand what
A little arrows here and there.
a little what?
Arrows.
A lot of scratching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of scratching and putting and
No. It could be worse.
yeah,
They said mine. It could be worse.
But this is homework. This is homework. So I really don't like the on and the it doesn't really have a good appeal.
Look how the tables turn. I remember that one essay we did on Tuesday, and y'all was complaining, and then I know scratches now. It's scratches. Hell, y'all can say,
No. That was good. That was the good part about it. Well, that was the good. We said that it was good. That
You X it out, remember?
Where did I put that essay? Where did we put that essay? Yeah, we said that it was good that it didn't have no scratches and stuff. Where is that? That was below it. It's below. Look how neat this is compared to the other one.
Okay, now page.
Right. So yeah. So it was clear and easy to read. What did I say about the general structure? Yeah, not a lot of scratching. That was a good thing. And then it was in print. And then it was the handwriting is appropriate and neat. Now this one is the exact opposite. So yeah. Look how clear this is, man. This one is so refreshing compared to the other one. Man. Like,
sliding.
No, I'm not sliding. I'm not trying I trying to be on a timeline sliding. It's you just look at it in your mind, don't feel like looking at this is like I'm like, oh my goodness, do I even really want to read this? Like, you know.
It's the lighting.
I'm not sliding.
No, it's the lighting. It's the lighting.
It's the lighting? You think it's the lighting?
Yeah, so we need to get them angles right, you know.
This person writes neat, and even though I don't understand it, just looking at this person's curves, I admire it, but I don't understand no word, nothing.
You don't understand the words, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it looks nice. So honestly,
it doesn't look
I gotta learn how to write like that. But
no, this is.
I just don't understand anything.
I feel like she's kind of showing us and saying she don't like in person.
But this is clearly way needed. Like you're looking at this and you feel like, okay, good. Yeah, I ready to mark and I can understand this is clear. So please fix that. Because remember, this is a writing exam, so it's not neat in my opinion. So a lot of stress.
Can you read it, Mr. Petit?
Say it again.
If you could read it.
I could read it. But I could read it. It's readable. It's just a lot of scratching and it's not neat enough.
Wow, wow.
It's not. Hey, what do you want me to say?
That's not a bad thing.
Did you print?
I think it looked okay, yeah. I think it's not bad.
In school, did you print?
Yeah, it's a print. Print is my thing. Just like this person. Yeah, using my handwriting. Okay, good. Yeah, that's general structure. The good with their general structure would be that they we can see that
amazing vocab. Oh no,
I like how it looked, but
the good thing is
you agree with me. It looks nice.
Yes, it does look good.
It does not look good. I don't understand how y'all can say it look good.
Mr. C, I wish I could write like that. It looks good.
No.
Yeah, Mr. C,
Read it. It's hard to read.
I never tried to read it. I see it good.
It's hard to read. That's not good.
I can read it. I agree with this statement. That, and that's all I can read.
Exactly. You don't want your examiners being
I mean, it's kind of tiny, but it's neat. It looks nice.
say it looks nice. No.
Looks nice, but I
Clear.
can't read it.
Okay. The good is that we see transitional words. I see transitional words being used.
She stated a point.
This is not a we do not know the gender of this individual, okay?
Okay, I need to stop doing that. That's my.
Please actually stated.
It's fun.
Can you read it one more time? If that's okay.
No, we just general structure.
Oh, general structure.
Just general structure. We haven't gotten it.
They indent?
Yeah, they indented. Transitional words used at the beginning of each paragraph. That's good.
I see commas and full stop.
Punctuation mark point.
You see commas and full stops? Look like they know they're doing with that now. Let's see. Yeah, I see the nice commas. Yeah. Commas, full stops there. Yeah.
Punctuation.
Conclusion, yeah. So transitional word, okay, indentation.
This person stated their point.
Just general structure. Man, getting into the.
Oh, she is always confused.
Getting ready to annihilate. Looking at each.
I think spelling. They have Let me zoom in a bit. I think the spelling is good.
Yeah, for the most part, right?
Yeah, I can't see anything, but from here it looks.
That's okay.
The spelling looks great.
Spelling. And punctuation. Generally. Okay. All right. We have more good than bad, bad than good. Any more good to kind of balance it off?
They have a position. They have a position.
No, we got just general structure.
I'm gonna say general structure. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of scratching, man. Recruited. See a lot of periods, I ain't gonna lie. Why are we using contractions? Wouldn't.
Why you saying that it's bad?
We shouldn't use contractions.
Why is that?
This makes it less formal. You want to keep it formal, especially for this writing. It's expository, so it shouldn't be as casual as the others. Now, if you was doing like a narrative, or then you could use contractions, but generally we avoid contractions for expository. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I can't think of nothing else. Maybe we could come back to something. I can't think of nothing else. Okay, let's go to the introduction. So introduction. So bad and good. Just read it. It says, okay, let's go. Okay. So introduction states the following. Let's go over here. I agree with this statement that. I guess I agree with. Can't even let them start probably yet.
I wonder if she's trying to say.
I know, right? I agree with the statement that there should be a night curfew law for school-age children in the Bahamas. I think that implementing a nighttime curfew law is an excellent idea. Tell me something. What's the difference between this, right, and the statement that is said above? What's the difference?
They only put I agree this time.
Sorry, repeat your question.
What's the difference between the underlying sentence and the sentence above? What's the difference?
They both of them are agreeing.
Yeah, they're saying that, you know, that they're saying literally exactly the same thing, right? It doesn't say I agree with the statement that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-age children in the Bahamas. I think that implementing a nighttime curfew law is an excellent idea.
Oh, she's like repeating.
Yeah, it's redundant.
Yeah, she's like repeating the same. The person is repeating the same idea.
Yeah, it's redundant. So we could move this. We don't need this, right? The same thing.
Yeah, she say it without saying I agree. She just but she repeats.
So be careful for redundancies, right? We don't need to repeat the same thing. Make sure that everything you are saying adds value. Like it should be something that should be like, it's clear why this thing is there. Like, wow, I understand why this thing is there. It shouldn't be a repeat. So repetition.
Like, could you compare that to, you remember your essay when you did the alliteration thing, and then you was like, you wouldn't believe talking about the same thing?
Yeah.
We couldn't tell?
Yeah, that's the thing. You couldn't tell, and it actually added to the value of the essay. This one is, it has no purpose. It's just literally there for just no reason. Like, you could literally take this out and it wouldn't change nothing with the essay. Like, it has no value. It's like you wasting words. You understand? For no reason. The reason why I did it for emphasis, right? And also I did it to help you to see things in a different way when I did it. But this one is like, there's no reason why this person.
So maybe it should have put in a different paragraph or something.
Yeah, they could have put us in a different paragraph. But yeah, I know they repeat that for no reason. I say, look how you press spell no.
I just realized that.
All right. Good. I agree with the statement that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-age children in the Bahamas. It is important that young children are at home at a specific time to avoid distractions after hours. A curfew law is needed. Children will excel on their exams. Okay, so right now the person is starting to list off points, right? So the good thing is that at least we know their position. Their position is clear. So position is clear. That's very important. I like that. Now they're gonna give some reasons. So let's see if we could distinctly see their reasons. And it shouldn't be no more than 3. So let's see. It's important that children are at home at a specific time to avoid distractions after hours. So that's the first point. So this first point should be their first reason. And this should be the first thing that they mention in the first body paragraph. Remember that?
Yeah.
So this is their first reason. So according to how they list it. So now the second reason they're saying is that a curfew law is needed. Children will excel on their exams. What is the problem here? What is the problem? This is a big problem with this one.
It isn't.
They talking about children. Oh, sorry.
It isn't like a fact. It's like it ain't guaranteed
No, I'm not hitting with the fact. I'm just hitting with grammar right there. Like
or is needed.
a curfew law is needed. Children will excel on their exams.
Or she between needed and children is like a different.
Yeah, it's like something's supposed to be here, something that's missing. A curfew law is needed because this will help children too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it didn't sound right to me. Just
So missing, but they're missing phrases, right?
So
Okay, missing phrases. That's important. Like they miss a whole important thing. Like you can't just say a curfew law is needed, children will excel in the exam. Like what's the connection between the curfew law as being needed and children excel in the exam? Or are you saying that the curfew law is needed because it will help the children to excel in the exam? If that's the case, then tell us. A curfew law is needed because this will help the children to excel on the exam. So the bad thing that they did here was that they missed phrases right now. Missed important.
Do you lose big points in an exam when you do that?
Big points. I mean, I could see where they're coming from. I could see, even though they missed the phrase, I could still see their connection. I don't expect this from Bgcse people though. I don't expect this. This is a simple mistake, so I don't expect this. Yes, ma'am.
If that like that, how much points would you still get from the bad from the bad?
From the bad, we can grade them right now.
It's Bgcse one because we only have one question, while the Bgcse students get to pick either one from the two.
Oh yeah, you mean the I understand. So curfew law is needed. Children will excel in the exam. They wouldn't. Okay, so contractions. Please avoid contractions in your writing, especially if you're writing expository. Avoid contractions. Wouldn't.
So spell everything out.
Spell it out, yeah. Avoid contractions. It makes the piece less formal. When you use contractions, it sounds like you're talking to your friend or whatever.
Where's that?
Say it again.
Asking where is that, like on the paper?
What, the contraction?
Yeah.
Wouldn't.
Oh, okay.
So what if you use a contraction to make it relatable for the reader?
It depends. So, for this essay, you don't want to use wouldn't. Use would not if you're using this. Should not. Spell it out. You're not trying to be conversational, right? That's not your goal. You're trying to state facts because the way how this is written, the question is written, it begs for you to be formal. Because it said, recently it has been suggested that there should be a nighttime curfew law for school-aged children in the Bahamas. Do you agree or disagree? Like, you can't be saying, oh, yeah, wouldn't, shouldn't, boy. Like, you're not trying to be conversational here. You're trying to be poised, formal, and factual. Okay, you ain't trying to be frenzy. Okay, you're just trying to state the facts and go on. So, you need to avoid these informal things. Okay? Alright. So the first thing that they mentioned is that it's important that young children are home at a specific time to avoid distraction after hours. A curfew law is needed because children will excel in the exams. They wouldn't get involved in criminal activity. So there's several things that I mentioned again, right? So they avoid distractions. Children will excel in their exams. That's the second one. that we see. They wouldn't get involved in criminal activity. That's the third one.
Where is the thesis, Mr. Petit?
Their thesis is not one statement. So the thesis could be like several statements. So really and truly, their thesis would start from I agree and continuing from it is important that and all the way up to before firstly. So their thesis in this case is not just one sentence. They didn't manage to keep it in one sentence. So it's just the thesis is just your position and your 3 points. So their thesis is starting from I agree. Basically their introduction here. So that means that's a problem. Your thesis can't be your whole introduction. Anyway, a curfew law is needed. Children will excel in exams. They wouldn't get involved in criminal activity. And they wouldn't be victims of any hideous crimes. That's the fourth one. So this person mentioned 4 reasons. That's too much reasons. Unless you're going to deal with all 4 in the paragraphs, only mention 3. Only 4 should be mentioned. So only 3, sorry, should be mentioned. So mentions more than 3 points.
A good one could be they have their 3 reasons.
Okay, at least they have 3. Okay, I like that. 3, at least 3 reasons of why.
This is Petit.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can't put more than 3?
No.
Why not?
Because you only gonna talk for 3. So
What if you want to talk about 4?
Say it again.
What if you want to talk about 4?
If you're gonna talk about 4, so that means you're gonna have 6 paragraphs then.
Yeah.
But you only have 500. You only have 300 words, and for the Bgcse, you only have 500 words. So where you going to 6 paragraphs?
Hold on. So it can't be more than 500?
No, it's only 500.
Oh, I thought it could have been 500 and up.
No. No. 500.
Oh.
So if you mention the only points you mention in introduction are the points that you're gonna discuss. If you ain't gonna discuss it, don't mention it. All right. It's very important. All right, it's very important. So, okay, so yeah, and then the person begins with firstly. Okay, so clearly they said that firstly children will excel in their exams. So was that the first point that they mentioned in the introduction?
No, they said avoid.
No, sir.
No, they said avoid.
Destroy.
The hours, right?
Oh, okay.
So that's supposed to be the first thing that they mention in their first paragraph. If you're talking about children to avoid distractions, then that's what you should begin with. It's a problem right there. Okay. But my question is, are these points really different from each other?
No.
Like
Yes, they're similar.
Are they really distinct points? Like, because this one talking about they wouldn't get involved in criminal activity, and then the next one says they wouldn't be victims of hideous crimes. Like,
criminal activity and
criminal activity, same thing.
Yeah.
And hideous crimes.
Yeah, they very close. So maybe they could combine that two ways.
Yeah, and then have that 4 point as something.
Or don't include the 4 point and combine these two. What else they could? Okay, children would excel on their exams. So isn't that connected to avoiding distractions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. Like it ain't really, really a different point. So to me, they only have two real points, if you ask me. Um, that it stops them from getting involved in criminal activity, and it helps them to achieve academic success. That's what I see here. So what I would say here, the bad thing that's happening here is that the points are too close. Like the points are too similar. Right? They're too similar. They need to be distinct. Like they need to be clearly separated. You know what I mean? They're just too close to each other. It almost sounds like you're making the same point. Right? Okay. Okay, it's too much bad. Let's talk about the good. It's getting uneven. Quickly. Any good? Only 3 points are provided.
I am beautiful.
Say it again.
I'm smart. I'm intelligent.
Say it again. I didn't hear that.
They have completed sentences.
Oh, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? This is Bgcse. Of course they have to have complete sentences.
They are you good stuff though.
Like, what, we gonna give them points for writing words on the paper? Like, what are we doing now?
That's hard.
I swear, like her in life. Yeah.
This is Bgcse. Of course they have completed sentences.
I put my heart and soul in this one essay and I still get a C.
Well, at least they beat me.
No, this might be you.
All right, we don't know who it is.
Please tell us that. Please tell Cooper been messaging me from this English style, but if it's me, please tell her you're not that in person so she can stay off my back.
Miss Cooper, Ashley Cooper.
I don't think that was me. I think that was an imposter.
Nancy's paper, right? If this is Nancy's paper, this is gonna get roast.
Oh wow!
It's gonna get roast.
See what I mean? The bias
She's gonna get 1 out of 10.
Wow.
She's gonna get no good. She's gonna get no good.
I swear. I'm sure I did.
Okay. The next thing is of course, oh my, there's no hook. Oh my, I mean that's the most important.
I was so
it's too boring.
I thought you would be on the good.
And dry. Too boring and dry.
The potatoes are on the good.
You know more good.
Bad.
You know more good. The only thing I could say is that
their vocabulary is
go ahead.
Superb.
No, not for Bgcse.
Their vocabulary is okay.
It's okay. I would say not for Bgcse. It's
but it's still too simple.
Yeah, vocabulary is too still too simple.
Y'all need to scoop us off guessing who essay it is, please.
I don't need it right now.
Vocabulary is too simple, and it needs some sophistication.
What are you doing as child bad?
I'm not doing them bad. I'm just assessing the essay, and they submitted their essay to be assessed. Right, that's it.
They get more good. That's so bad. Oh Lord.
Give me a good, Dan. What you see? What a good? Give me a good.
They have their punctuations, their completed sentence, they start with a capital letter.
Oh my goodness. we giving brownie
I'll
points.
tell him.
Oh my
Disrespect.
god.
Oh my
Bruh,
goodness.
I
Okay,
don't know what to
give
make
them
out
half
of it.
because they do the essay then. Because they
I
did.
Yeah, they
I
did it at
Mr.
least.
T, um, I give them courage for doing it.
Correct. So we can put good for courage.
No, 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 no.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Mr. T, will every essay be assessed? Because
See
I
what
want to improve too. So
Will every essay be assessed? Well, if you want it to be, some people say, no, Mr. Petit, don't do mines. And
some people don't want it. They won't do
For a good
publicly,
reason
but
too.
um,
all right.
For this reason.
Um yeah, it's too boring, too dry. Vocabulary needs improvement. I would say at the beginning, please include a hook, some sort. Then of course it needs some background information, like you said. And then the last thing you do is bring the thesis. All right. So that's the thing you do. All right. All right. So
That's all.
that's the introduction. So we need some background information.
I need an example of that. I still don't know what you mean.
When I say background information, all right. Let me
Yes.
see if I can find an essay that I wrote. Um.
That one at the beginning.
no
Sorry.
one
Oh,
essay has like background information. Anything, something you could. Oh, never mind.
yeah, something you could leave.
Okay. I was gonna see if I can find an essay, not the one that I gave y'all. Um. Not the one that I gave y'all before. It was another one that I wrote. That let's see.
Miss Petit, we closing on for the night.
Well, I just want to show them an example. So this one I wrote. I just wrote this. I wrote this recently, and
Okay, let's say this.
see, let's say this. I know y'all gonna roast this one too. Mr. Petit, where's this? Where's this? Where's this? But I think it's okay. It wasn't even something that I spent too much time on. It just was something that was quick, and so
We know you like big words, so that should be full of.
it wasn't deep. It wasn't deep. It just was talking about. Okay, let me just show you. It's talking about the role of the church in the Christian society. That was the role of the church in the Bahamian society. Like, what do you believe is the function of the church in the Bahamian society? That was the name, the title of the essay. So let me show you.
That should be interesting.
Would have been a good discussion.
Yes.
Okay. So we good? Y'all can see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the essay that I wrote, right? So what I start off by saying, I said that in a broad sense, the word church simply refers to the formal, corporate gathering of a religious body, typically for spiritual enrichment and instruction. Okay, this is how I start. Now, this right here is a good start. The reason why is because I start off. Some of my person might say, "Where's the hook?" Well, I start off by using a definition as my hook, right? And I start off by specifically telling them that, hey, we are, because remember, the question is the role of the Christian churches in the Bahamian society. So the question is immediately, okay, what is a church? So we have to start, and sometimes with certain essays, you have to start with definitions so that people can know, okay, what are we even talking about? What do we mean by this? What do we mean by that? And this is the type of essay like that. Like, we had to start, or I decided to start using a definition of a church and what do we mean by it. And so I said that in a broad sense, the word church simply refers to the formal corporate gathering of a religious body, typically for spiritual enrichment and instruction. Right? That's how I start. Then I continue with the definition because I say what is church. Now we gotta talk about what is Christian church. And he says that the term church is more narrowing. Now, what am I doing here? Like, I haven't stated my thesis yet. Right? I haven't stated my thesis yet. What I'm doing is, well, because the name. Kennedy asks, well, what is background information? What is background information? What I'm doing is I am constructing the context of my discussion, and I am presenting background information. Before I get into my thesis, before I get into anything, I am starting in an interesting way because you're like, okay, where's he going with this? Like, okay, you start talking about it in a broad sense, talking about what the word church means. Like, I start in an interesting way because, like, why would he define church first? Like, so you're getting the reader thinking, like, what is this? Where are we going with this? You know what I mean? And of course, the words that I use are, I mean, they ain't too technical, but at least you know that they ain't, you know, very, very simple. So I use words like enrichment and instruction and corporate, you know what I mean? And typically, right? So they are words that, not too sophisticated, but they could hold your ground, right? So then I continue. I said the term church, Christian church, is more narrowing. So what I'm doing is, and that's what you want to do. You want to go from broad to specific, always. So you start off big, talking about all sorts of stuff, and then you get narrow and narrow and narrow to talk about what you really want to talk about. So the term Christian church is more narrowing. It refers to a convocation held among persons who profess faith in the Word of God as the basis for their conduct and the standard of their spiritual experience. Like, look at this sentence. It's like epic. Like, it just meant to be there. Like, it's like, okay, I first define what church is in a broad sense, and then I come down and I define narrowly what is the Christian church, because I am going to use that word over and over in my essay, so I need to tell them what I mean by that. And the way how I define it is so sleek and so good. Like I said, it refers to a convocation, or we could use the word gathering, whatever, held among persons who profess faith in the Word of God as the basis for their what? Conduct, their standard of their spiritual experience. Nice, sleek, no one can argue with that definition. And I didn't use Google definition, I just explained it, what I understand of it in my own words, right? Good. Now I'm getting more narrow, because this is talking about the role of the church in the what? Bahamian society. So now I'm giving some background, I'm going to give some background information about how Bahamians feel about church and, what they do. So I said now, in the Bahamas, there are a multitude of churches, and certainly church attendance is a popular activity. Now, in view of the abundance of churches and the customary nature of church attendance, persons can become lost in the tradition and routine and lose the true understanding of what church is supposed to be. So what am I doing here? This is incredible. It's like wow, like I'm doing something very intentional in these two sentences. What I'm answering to the reader, I'm answering a question. The question I'm answering is, why is this essay important? Like, who cares? Like, why are we even talking about the true role of Christian churches in the Bahamian society? Why does that even matter? And the reason why it matters, I state it right inside it. Anyone can pick it out in this purple here. I stated the reason why this topic is important.
Because you know the true understanding of church?
Yeah, because a lot of people in the Bahamas, like I said, go to church. But even though they go to church, because they do it so often and so much, it's become a tradition. And they could lose the true understanding of what it's supposed to be. And so what I did here was very awesome, because what I did is that, say a person who don't live in the Bahamas, they may not know what is going on. They may not know the background of what's happening in the Bahamas concerning church attendance and stuff like that. And so Kennedy, like you asked, what do we mean by background information? This is what we mean by background information. We're giving them a short, brief, synopsis of what's happening and why this essay demands their attention. And then finally, I hit yeah, and then finally I hit my thesis. My thesis is short and to the point. The goal of this essay, you can't miss it, right? This is the thesis. The goal of this essay is to discuss the true role of the Christian church in the Bahamian society by highlighting what? 3 major responsibilities that the church should fulfill: spiritual, physical, and intercessory. So that's my thesis. I'm mentioning only 3 points I mentioned, 3. And those points that I mentioned, I'm going to hit them point by point. So I mentioned the first thing is spiritual, right? And so the first thing that I mentioned in my first paragraph is spiritual nourishment. I mentioned physical, and then so the second thing in my second paragraph is I'm going to talk about what? And then I mentioned intercessory, and so in my third body paragraph, what it should fill what? Intercessory role.
Intercessory role.
Good. And so that's how you do it. Like and look at this introduction, like it's what, 5 sentences or so? But every sentence is important, every word is calculated, and nothing is wasted. Right? That's how we do it.
What KL1 means, Mr. Petit?
What?
KL1. I see what that in your first, your second paragraph.
KL1 means like people who worry them. You know? They're full of cares and stressed out. Yeah. Alright? So that's how we do it. Okay, so alright, so this is the language that I'm expecting. This is the vocabulary that I'm expecting. This is the standard that I'm expecting, right? Certainly I want your essays to be better than mine. Because this is, this is not the best it could be. You know what I mean? But it's up there. So that's how I want
This is Bgcse level.
What, my writing?
Yeah, the introduction and everything like this is Bgcse level.
Yeah.
Oh, like college level.
Okay.
No, they ain't that deep. Trust me. They ain't that deep. College level, boy, they try to break your neck. They probably give me a nice B for this.
In college?
Yeah, a B. They wouldn't give me no A for this. They want you to, I don't know what they want, but they want blood. That's how they want blood.
They want is sweat.
Yes. But some people naturally, they are, man. They just have it, man. They just, how they read so much, and, they just have it in their vocabulary. They have it, man. They good.
I have a question, Mr. Petit. So, for persons who don't have it naturally, like what advice would you give to them?
Read a lot. And read a lot of the things that we've been reading, like, those SAT practice reading comprehension stuff. Read a lot of them. So, like these passages from Catherine Bracher, read a lot of them because they help you to see how you could use certain words that you never would even thought about while using them. And what will happen is, so as you read, then write. And then read and then keep on writing. And a good thing to do is you could rewrite an essay. So like how I corrected this person on, and they rewrite it. What'll happen is that they'll find new ways to express themselves. Okay, so that's the thing. So read, learn new vocabulary words, and write, and rewrite, and stuff like that. And so that you'll be good like that. Okay.
Okay.
So that brings us to the end of this session with English and math. If you haven't submitted your essay as yet to be politely critiqued, please do so. We haven't given the grade. What's the grade for this? For the introduction?
6.5.
25.
3.
It's cool. What'd you say?
I don't know, actually.
I heard you say something.
You didn't hear me? I said I don't know.
It only have a only has a thesis.
I can go with what you go with.
What we give the other one? Let's see.
5.
We gave the
5.
other one 5, so we can't give it no higher than 5. Because they basically the same thing. They do the same. They literally did the same thing. But because this one is Bgcse and we expect better, we give them a 4.
Yeah.
So it's like a C then.
See, was
In what way?
C plus.
it was
E? E or D?
say C.
Isn't it the E?
40%. It's D or E.
E.
U.
There's not a U. All right, but um
So all of the essays is going to be critiqued during the class.
well, will we find time to critique them?
Because it has taken us a whole hour to do one. That's
On the weekend,
Huh?
I am not Brazil.
We try to do as much as we can.
So, Mr. Betty, we never can get to know paragraph 40 unless that person essay good from the beginning.
No. I just decided to do introduction. Maybe the next time I'll do body and
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, I thought we just did not enough time.
She's still on the way? It's 9 o'clock?
Nancy and Mike.
Anyway, all right. You can end class right there. Have a wonderful one.
Good night.
I have a question.
What?
Let's do the some.
Yeah, no problem.
Mr. Batik, I went through the thing.
Show me it. Yeah, show me it. Good night, everyone else. Let me end the recording.
You too. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Night night. Wait, let me end the recording, please, before we begin.